Hi, this is Mira. In this video we are going to see about fake Rolex watch with 5 points. The world of counterfeit vintage watches is massive. While some are incredibly easy to spot, others look identical to authentic ones. Advanced technology has given counterfeiters the power to replicate designer watches down to every last detail. Every year, tens of millions of fake Rolexes enter circulation, making it a billion-dollar market worldwide. So, you'll need to be extremely careful if you're looking to invest a good chunk of change into a vintage Rolex. Fortunately, we've created this helpful guide on spotting a fake vintage Rolex, even if you aren't an expert watch enthusiast. Continue reading below to learn how to avoid buying a counterfeit Rolex watch by mistake. Number 1. Look for engraved versus etched serial numbers. Genuine Rolex watches have their serial numbers deeply engraved into the metal, whereas fakes often just have it etched with acid. The serial number is located behind where the band connects to the body of the watch, on the 6 o'clock side. On the 12 o'clock side, you'll find the model number, typically denoted by the text, ORIG Rolex design, followed by the number below. In order to view the number, you have to remove the band. This requires a push pin or small paper clip to remove the pin that holds the band in place. Counterfeiters often don't bother changing the numbers, instead printing the same digits on each replica. A simple Google search for your watch's serial number should reveal whether that particular fake was mass-produced. Many times they will etch the wrong model number on a watch. For example, a Submariner model number for a Yachtmaster, says Abe de Verily of Primetime 305. As of late, Rolex has also improved their own methodology in this regard. The newer Rolexes have scrambled serials, he says. You could no longer date them without going to a Rolex dealer. Also, the serial numbers are now etched in the silver bezel under the crystal at the 6 o'clock. In addition, it's important to note that Rolexes manufactured before 2007 included a hologram of the crown logo on the case back. Because counterfeiters became so adept at copying the hologram, Rolex discontinued its use. However, you can now be sure that any seller claiming a watch was made after 2007 and also has a hologram is almost definitely peddling a replica Rolex. Number 2. Movements should be self-winding and mechanical. Rolex movements are self-winding and mechanical, as opposed to quartz or battery-powered. They also have Rolex engraved into them, although the placement of that engraving differs depending on the piece. This is a bit trickier to check, though, as Rolex is adamant that only brand-certified watchmakers should access the movement. One caveat: oyster quartz Rolexes from the 1960s and 1970s were produced with quartz movements. Number 3. Text is clear and even. The printed text on the face of Rolex watches should have an exquisitely fine appearance with no blurs, splotches, or unevenness. Look closely for inconsistent spacing in the font or ink bleeding caused by cheaper printing methods on Rolex replicas. Number 4. The Cyclops should actually magnify. The magnifying lens that enlarges the date on the face of the watch, dubbed the Cyclops, should, magnify, 2.5 times magnification, to be exact. Hold the watch sideways to get a glance at the date without the magnifying lens. If you're questioning whether or not it actually looks any bigger when looked at straight on, it's probably fake. Number 5. Waterproof, not just water-resistant. This one is pretty self-explanatory. Note that waterproof is superior to water-resistant, and the majority of Rolex watches in the Oyster line should hold up for a whopping 100 meters underwater. If it stops working while you're out for a swim, best to just leave that fake Rolex at the bottom of the sea.